Cinekyd is not just a camera and acting. Cinekyd also has other things like the graphics miniatures crew, which does things like Walt Disney animation, claymation, and posters and miniatures. We're going to take a walk upstairs and talk to some of the people who are doing their individual projects for Cinekyd. Next to me now is Mike Wilson, who's probably one of the most experienced graphic artists at Cinekyd right now. He, got involved with Cinekyd probably from about the very beginning. What are some changes you've seen in graphics from the beginning until now?
Well, when we first started out here, we would only do graphics for movies, the end credits. And then we progressed to making signs for movie night. And then we started doing things for companies. We make them graphs and stuff.
What do you specialize in? Like certain people do houses. What do you do?
Paint. I paint signs here.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I paint signs, I paint logos and stuff like that.
You mentioned you do logos, and I saw downstairs for movie nights you can see the big logo on the front wall. I think that's great. How did you do that?
I did that with a prototype, and I used the OPEG projector to blow it up on the wall. And I just painted over it.
Thanks, Mike. Now let's move on. This is George Jacoumis, and he's a graphics miniatures too. He works on those projects. How long have you been with Cinekyd, George?
About 2.5 years.
Mike said that he specialized in, in signs and things like that. As a graphic miniature artist, what do you specialize in?
Well, I do like to paint, but it's a little different. I like to airbrush. It's kind of a different kind of technique. It's more like a spraying paint. It's actually what it's.
What are you designing?
Well, I have right here a backdrop for Tilford Mansion, and what I did was I had to make a drawing sketch of what I was doing first and make stencils. Mm-hmm. And then what I did is place the stencils on a piece of plexiglass, which this is right here. Sprayed over the top black, and then from the stencils I could put the colors in.
How does the airbrush work?
Well, what it is it's like a small air gun, and there's a jar, it takes paint, and the air comes into a nozzle and picks up the paint and sprays it out, and I can control the air flow and paint from the back. It's a little tricky. It takes a while to get used to, but just started with it, and I'm finding it really a lot of fun.
Thanks, George. This is the miniatures area, and Beverly Schiller and Liam White are two of the miniature artists, and they're working on some houses for the film we just shot last summer, Gargantua. Beverly, what is the technique for making a miniature?
Well, we take this foam board, and after we take measurements from a picture on a house, we cut out from graph paper from the board, and we glue it together and pin it, and after it's dry we put board, brick, or paint it, or whatever you want to do, and after that's dry, roof it.
And it's all to scale?
Mm-hmm. After you do the house, you put it on a board and you make a background. The camera will be moving Gargantua and he'll step on it or, whatever.
Liam, what are you doing?
Well, I'm working on my second house, and this is the front door for it.
Are these the projects that you've worked on before?
Yes, this is the one I'm working on now.
It's neat. And these are all going to be used for Gargantua.
Yes.
Thanks, Liam. Thank you for that. This is Rita Augustine, and she's into claymation, which is the new area of the graphics area. Rita, what is claymation?
Well, claymation is when you take clay and you make it look movable like it's an actual character, and it's actually a form of animation.
How did you get interested in claymation?
Well, last August, when I was first in Cinekyd, I watched a group do claymation, and it really got me interested, and I wanted to try it on my own.
What's the preparation involved?
Well, the first step is to draw a storyboard, and I chose to use pencil, and you have to draw a picture of all the different shots you want to take of your clay things. And then the second step is to make the clay shape, but this is really just my rough copy. I'd have to do it in colored clay for actually filming it.
And then you'd animate it to make it look
Yes.
like it's... Thanks, Rita. Good luck with your project. This is Mark Miller, and he's another graphic artist. Mark, this looks to me like just a bunch of sticks and branches. I know there's a real purpose for it, but what is it for?
This is for landscaping for the miniature houses that you've already seen. These sticks and everything, when it'll look like trees, and like these things here will look like old big trees, like, and these will look like bushes and stuff when you get up close, when it's around the houses and everything.
Thanks, Mark. And this is landscaping. This is Joe McMahon. He's one of the new members of the graphics crew. Joe, how'd you get interested in Cinekyd?
I heard about it last year, and I came for one night, but I just didn't have the time. And this year, I got interested in the graphics department.
How long have you been coming to Cinekyd now?
I've been coming for about 2 months.
And you like it, huh?
Yeah.
What are you doing right now?
Right now, I'm working on the cabin for Uncle Flywheel's workshop, and it's taken all the time since I've come.
Joe, how do you do the logs on the house that you're making?
To get the log effect, you take these round toothpicks and you cut both the pointed ends off with a tool like this, and then you insert them on the house, and you cut the toothpicks smaller where you take out the windows and the doors.
Joe, I know I wouldn't have the patience to do something like that. And I was also wondering, how long did it take you to make that?
It took me about a month and a half to do the log effect, and about a half a month to do the shingles. And on the shingles, you have to cut every little triangular piece out and then lay them on and glue them on, and that takes a lot of time as well.
Thank you, Joe. And now we're going to take a look over Lynn McDonald's shoulder, and she's working on a house that she's making for Gargantua. Lynn McDonald is working on one of the projects for the film Gargantua. She's making a miniature house, like most of the miniatures crew is doing, and designing the roof and the sides. She's making everything to scale so it looks perfect when we make the final product. She has to lay out her project on a piece of graph paper, then cut the foam to size, then take wood and make siding and window panes, and she cut out shingles and other things to add to the house. And when she's finished, they'll animate the project and animate it with a bear, and then we'll have